Hello and welcome to episode 38 of Unemployed to Unstoppable. We've got two hat-tricks. We've got our first club-owned wonder kid and I think we've avoided relegation. So stay tuned and I'll take you through what's been happening. Welcome back. So results-wise, since you were last with us in the 4-0 win at QPR, Brian Vinweiser got his full home debut against Sunderland and scored 4 goals. So absolutely fantastic for him. A 4-0 win against Sunderland in the league. Much needed 3 points after our bad run we had in December, which was fantastic. So I'll let you take in them goals. Great hat trick. You can't really say much more than that. And I was hoping he would go on and score a lot more. We followed up with a 3-2 win away at Southampton. Vinweiser getting another goal alongside Kevin Zeffy and Hansen Aaron. We then struggled in the FA Cup against Hull in the 4th round, getting a 0-0 draw and taking it to a replay. Followed that with a 2-1 defeat away at Brentford, only mustering up an own goal. And then we beat Hull in the replay, 5-2 after extra time. Alves, Smith, Codrianu, Devine and Zeffy with the goals. We then got beat really slim game against Liverpool, 2-1. Borisov getting a 90 plus 2 minute injury time goal. I think they were 2-0 up for a long portion of the game. We got beat. Then we beat Sheffield United at home 3-1, not to be outdone. Codrianu got a hat-trick of his own. Again, I'll let you take in them goals and you can let me know in the comment section which hat-trick was better. Was it Codrianu's or was it Vinweiser's? We then followed that with a 3-0 defeat at Fulham away, which was another bleh performance. Not much more you can say about it. Vinweiser not hitting the heights of his early games. And then a 1-1 draw with West Brom. Kevin Zeffy getting a goal in a very tight affair. And then just before now, we got knocked out by Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup after extra time. Was it extra time? No, it was on penalties. Went straight to penalties. Bizarrely enough, I thought we'd won it. Codrianu got a goal in 120th minute, +1. And then Forest equalised in 120 minutes, +2. Which took it to penalties and we ended up losing 5-4. Which is a bit frustrating because I thought we could have gone a long way in that competition, but it's unfortunate. Which leaves us for today's episode with an away game at Man U and then a home game at Newcastle, so 2 really tough tests. But as you'll see, league-wise, we've hit the 38-point mark. 40 is normally the safe points. We've got 10 games left, so 30 points. I think we're going to kind of sit around that mid-table area. We've got some tough run of fixtures coming up. I can't see us really reaching 50 points or like European places completely out of the question. In terms of the squad, like I said in the intro, we've got our first wonder kid. It is Mihai Codrianu. Information-wise, media description as a wonder kid. He's coming on leaps and bounds. His stats are really good. He's now competing with Vinweiser for a starting spot. Vinweiser can play out wide on the right, so could Codrianu. So it's trying to work out which one of them two to go on there, as Soleimani has been injured in recent matches. But again, neither of them really, they'll score a hat-trick and then they won't score for a couple of games. So it's really difficult to find any kind of consistency in there. In terms of the squad, we're lacking a little bit of depth now. I think with the defenders that went, obviously Helander got recalled, Kirkpatrick got recalled from the 2 loans, and we picked up an injury to Olander. So we've been running really short in the back 4. Olander's nearly back. We've seen our way through the season, but I think that's our main area of concern when we get to the transfer window in January. In terms of budget for that, we've got 10 million spare in the bank already with a 50k wage budget, so we'll very much be looking to bring in our own player where we can and then supplementing the rest of the squad with loan players. I didn't do particularly well with the loan players this season. I mean, Borisov's worked out quite well. Harwood's done great at left back, but 2 centre halves on top of that probably wasn't the best move from me, so I'll take the hit on that. In terms of club vision, I think we pretty much hit all the marks on there. We're going to avoid relegation. We were all right in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. We're well within the wage budget, so we're doing pretty well, and the board and the supporters are just as happy with us, which is good because it means we can carry on long into the future with Millwall. Consistency, not great. I mean, we're very hit and miss. We have improved on what we did in December. January we got 3 wins in a row, one of them in the FA Cup against a lesser opponent, but we're very much on a good performance, bad performance cycle which we need to break. probably not going to do it in March with Man United, Newcastle and Tottenham. But when we get into April and we've got some easier fixtures, I think that's the month for us to really look at, really having an attack on for the last points of the season. As we said, we touched on the finances. We're doing all right for that. And then the last thing really to take us through is club badges. So we're currently studying for Continental B license. So they've been a lot more friendly with the coaching badges we've applied for. Really, they were reluctant at first to let us do it. And then one final thing to check in on is the mighty Budafok, who we were originally in charge of. I've seen they've sacked their manager. Oh, they've just replaced him with Topolov now, but they're down at 11th in the league. However, last season they won it. So after we left the club, they had a couple good seasons. Well, one good season. I think that was our season, 26-27. A couple mid-tables. Then they won the league. And then now they're well down the bottom end of the table, sat in the relegation zone, and it might be the end of them in terms of the top flight, which is sad to see, but that's what happens. In terms of job offers and staffing type stuff, there are a few job going on out and about at the minute. Nothing really in terms of the Premier League, but we will keep an eye out. I don't think, Brighton's available, but I don't think we would change job in the Premier League unless we got one of the, so-called big six type clubs. I did toy whether I would take Everton if they popped up, because that's the club I support. But I really enjoy Millwall. I like what we've built, and I think we should stay with it and stick it out for a bit longer. All that being said, I'll get into the games, and we'll see how we get on against Manchester United and Newcastle. So stay tuned. Here we go. First up, Man United away. We've got Anson in goals. We've got a back four of Harwood, Smith, Borisov and Shahar. Mitchell, Diouf and Anton Aaron will fill the midfield three. Got Zephi on the left. Vinways is going to start on the right-hand side with Codriano up front. And it's really between them two to fight out for that number one spot in the number 9 shirt up front. I don't mind which one it is. I think Codriano, as a wonder kid, he might be the long-term fit for up there. Short-term, I think Vinways might just have the edge. But in a comparison between the two, it's very similar. And I don't really mind as long as one of them starts scoring some goals, because we need it. This will be a very tight game. We've gone to a cautious approach. Still playing the gegenpress. Formation's not really changed too much. I think once we settled on this with Millwall, I think it's really worked. And now we need to just buy the right players to fit it. As Shahar plays the ball down the right-hand side, which is cut out, and Rashford will break. Again, I think it's very much going to set the pace of Man United attacks for this game. Through to Højlund, and he smashes it over the bar. Would I be happy with the 0-0? Absolutely. As Mason Mount takes a corner, initially cleared, but he's going to get another chance. Bends it round and Anson tips it past the post. I think we're just going to have to ride our luck, really, because although we've assembled quite a good squad and we were competing early doors, I think squad size and fitness has got the better of us again. And I think it's one of my own personal traits. I tend to keep quite a small squad. I don't like having too many players because you get issues with playing time, etc. So I keep it quite small, but I need to get better at managing that squad size and bring in the balance of the first 11 and then the right number of kind of reservist players who are happy to take a bench type role on the side. Just coming up to half time, we've not had a single shot. Man United with another corner just before half time. Mount plays it to the edge of the area. Rashford bends one over the top as Anson just ushers the ball out comfortably. Finally had a couple shots on target. 2 minutes of injury time. Ball goes all the way back to Raya in goals as Man United break forward again. I'd like to keep it clean to half time, but we've been riding our luck as Rashford skips past the player and puts it in the bottom corner. And you wouldn't see that happening in real life, as he'd be too busy out in the nightclub or nursing a hangover to score. But Højlund down the left into Rashford. He skips past the last man and leaves Hansen sat down on the floor. Getting to half time then, we'll have a little bit of a team talk and get them back out. I want to see something else. I don't want them to just give up on the game. I think we need to go a bit more balanced and check a little bit of encouragement as Alves goes down the left. Tries to find Codriano, but it's cut out. Garnacho feels it through to Ivan Nilsson. It kind of hits Højlund and just dribbles into the back of the net. I'm not sure he can really claim that. Let's have a look at it again. I don't think he was even looking. Garnacho threads a ball through. Great ball through to Evan Nielsen. He cuts it across. Hoyland appears to be looking the other way. It hits his foot and goes in. And we find ourselves 2-0 down. Smith for Diaz. I mean, it just shows you that how our squad's gone. Is we substituted a right back in at centre back. Harwood's looking like he's flagging as well, so it won't be long before he comes off. And what have we got next? We've got Newcastle next, who are top of the league. So I think we'll be featuring more of the same. I just think, looking at, and let me know if you agree with me in the comment section, I think the back four is a really big area we need to work on in the summer. Certainly looking for a couple of 4-star centre halves in there just to stem the tide and make us a little bit less fragile in the back four, I would say. I think going forward, Vinweza, Codriano, Zeffy, Hansen, Aaron, I think we're quite good going forward. I just think going backwards we're a little bit lacklustre. The other area I think maybe is a really good centre midfielder. I know we've got a few and we've bought lots in recent years, but it's such a key area of the pitch. I mean, Mitchell, Juve, Hansen, Aaron, we've got Bramall in there. They're all good. They're all Premier League players, but I don't know if we need one just to notch it up a little level. Nearly got a chance there, but Man United have won the ball back, and Cavez will break down the right hand side. Looking to make it worse as we go into the final couple of minutes. I mean, it didn't look much of a penalty to me there. It looks like Hoyland just got bumped off it by the stronger man. Penalty being awarded though. Anson with a chance to save a penalty. It looks like, is it Rashford? No save. 3-0. 3-0 away at Man United. No points again. Very tired players on the pitch. And I think we're limping towards the end of the season. Thankfully we did enough in the first half of the season to kind of keep us safe. But I think holes are starting to appear in terms of the squad size. All that being said, I'll get us ready. I'll click us through to the next game. We'll go again against Newcastle and we'll see if we can be a bit more resilient. Welcome back for the second game at home to Newcastle, who are top of the league. Starting lineup, we've got Anson in goals. Back four of Harwood, Borisov, Smith and Shahar again. Bramall comes in the anchor position with Juve and Devine in front. Got Zeffy on the left. Somolani comes in on the right, which allows Vinweza to start up front. Codriano drop into the bench. I think slightly stronger team. Codriano's he's dropped to the bench. He is the wonder kid, but he's very inconsistent. I think Vinweza is the better option up front. We are playing with a cautious mentality again. I think we've been unlucky in recent weeks, and I think every now and then you go a few games without scoring, and you get to that point where you naturally score some goals. I think, well, I'm hoping today's going to be that day where we finally get a couple goals that we've been missing in recent weeks. Vinweza, I mean, he came in, he scored 4 goals on his full home debut after coming on as a substitute in the QPR game and getting a goal. I think now is maybe the time for him to burst onto the scene and make himself a bit of a cult Millwall hero. Whether he can, I'm not entirely sure. We've not been on the greatest of form as Tonali breaks forward and slips on past the post. And I think maybe we just need to be, might go a bit more positive in this game. We're already on the back foot, so how about we just go balance from the word go and maybe try and get ourselves on the front foot rather than be on the defensive all the time. I mean, yeah, it can only be a loss either way, but Juve swings in a corner, initially cleared to Vinweza, puts it to Somolani and he slams it home to put us 1-0 up, and now it's a case of holding on for 65 minutes to try and get a 1-0 win. Initially cleared, Vinweza picked it up. I thought he was going to strike it himself, but he plays in Somolani and he bags himself a goal and puts Millwall 1 up for the game. Zeffy breaking it forward to Vinweza. Somolani coming forward again. Bramall getting hold of the ball. Shahar, Smith to Somolani. Devine, can he find a decisive pass into Juve? He strikes it from distance, but it goes over the bar. As we hit the half-hour mark, things not looking too bad against top of the league Newcastle. Having a couple shots from range. Oh, and what a free kick that was off the underside of the bar, but didn't quite cross the line. We managed to scramble it away. Can we limp into half time? 3 minutes of injury time. No more chances. Half time comes. I don't want to wish all the time away. I'm not Doctor Who and I don't have a TARDIS, but if I could make it be 90 minutes when I click this button and finish 1-0, that's exactly what I would do. As we get out for the second half, players buoyed by coming in at half time 1-0. I don't want to switch back to a cautious approach because we were very much on the back foot. However, we are starting to get a little bit overwhelmed now. If they don't score here, I might have to. Yeah, we'll slip back to a cautious approach, see if we can see this out. As the corner goes in, hopefully they don't pick it up from the rebound. Shah gets it clear. Zephy can't quite bring it under his spell. And it goes away. Now this is what I've been worried about for a long time, is the injury to a centre-half scenario where we don't really have anyone ready-made on the bench. I mean, it's going to have to be Diaz, I think. Or Lengelo. No. I think Diaz, because we're on the right-hand side. And it's going to be a tough ask for 30 minutes for Diaz to come in and play centre-half. Zephy's not having the greatest of games out on the left-hand side. So we'll bring on Hansen Aaron just for a bit more creativity. Maybe he can hold the ball up a little bit better. I don't really want to do Shah for Lengelo for the sake of a yellow card. Shah plays it into Divine. Lays it back to Bramall. Juve gets a go from long range. He bends it in. It was on target, but Newcastle managed to tip it around the post. We'll ignore that sub again. Vinuesa plays it in. It's cleared and Oscar breaks up the other end. Somebody lop him down. 20 minutes to go. Still got that narrow advantage as Juve plays in a corner. Harwood heads it over the bar and we tick some more time down. Mitchell comes on for Diouf. We can't afford a yellow card and he's tired. Let's go into the final 5 minutes. This would be a massive needed 3 points if we can hold on. 5 minutes of injury time. 2 minutes of injury time. Clock watching. And we have snuck away with what is a monumental 1-0 victory against top of the league Newcastle, which puts us beyond the 40 points mark. That was absolutely magnificent. Massive underdogs in that game. There was an element of luck, but in terms of the league table, 41 points after 30 games, I think that's us essentially safe. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't expect that. 3 points out of them 2 games would take all day long. In terms of the schedule, I mean, there's not many games to the end of the season, so what I think I'll do is in the next episode we'll do the end of season review. We'll have a quick look at the squad planner and we'll do the transfer window all in one episode, rather than come back and watch what is essentially a pointless game against Man City, because we're not getting into the European spots and we're not going to get relegated, so we're going to finish somewhere around there. So there's not much point coming back just to watch that game. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen. Hopefully you enjoyed that massive victory over Newcastle. Again, I'll keep you notified if any job offers etc come on, but I'm thinking we're probably going to stay at Millwall for another season anyway, because we're enjoying Millwall. We've brought them to where they are. Let's see if we can take them one step further and get them into Europe. Massive transfer window in the next episode, so make sure you hit the bell to make sure you don't miss out on the episode. And until next time, take care and enjoy yourselves.